For day 6 of COP26, the youth and public empowerment were the focus. The UNFCCC has the constituency of youth NGOs that contribute to shaping the intergovernmental climate change policies. Its mandate is to empower youth to take action in the fight against climate change. Belizean Youth Delegate Jason Salgado does and continues to do so. We caught up with him at the Scottish Events Campus in Glasgow, Scotland. He told us why youth participation is important.
What is being discussed here in this COP is what is going to happen, for the next 20, 30, 50 years. So we as young people, we need to be participating in this decision making because this is going to affect our lives, right? So young people are, very young, and 50 years from now, we are the ones that are going to deal with this issue, and everything that is decided here is going to affect our life.
At this year's COP, youth presence has increased in all areas, but even so, adequate youth representation is still lacking.
At the end of the day, it's not being reflected. Some decisions have been hard because young people have been pushing for the ambition to be done, and it has been really difficult. And so far, we haven't seen what we have been asking for.
Do you believe that we need more youth representation here at COP? Is it enough?
Youth representation? Well, we have a lot of youth representation. For example, we had over 400 youth delegates for the Conference of Youth, which is before the COP. And right now, I believe maybe there are more than 1,000 youth delegates. I have seen that different countries have youth delegates in there. Even Belize, I see that there are young people in their delegation. And I think it's not about the representation, but it's about the system. We need a more inclusive system that the amount of people that are there are being considered, and their voices, are really reflected in the decision making.
Youth Delegate 19-year-old Francesca Munoz agrees. She recognizes a lack of youth involvement in discussions at COP26.
It's been an overwhelming experience in many ways. I think personally, I really enjoy the fact that I had a voice and I could be heard in this kind of situations. However, I do not feel like it's enough. There's definitely a lack of involvement in young people. Yes, we have our own discussion forums, and yes, there is specific topics that are just for youth. However, it is not enough to just put a room full of young people. It's about putting young people within every single room in these discussions. I personally feel like as part of the assembly members, I was the only one under the age of 25. And still, I got the opportunity to be here and represent. But that is not enough. There has to be more people out there, not in the streets, but actually here discussing these topics.
Munoz says that while youth might be considered the future, they are the now, and they need a now response.
I think that when people say that, the youth are the future, that's not true. The youth are the present, they're the now. And we are the ones that are going to evaluate the best actions for the things that are going to affect us in the future. Many people around the world, in Latin America, in smaller countries, are getting affected. They lose their jobs and they cannot feel safe in their own countries. And yet still, we only have people that are probably not going to even be alive for their goals that are in the next 20 years. So at the end of the day, it's supposed to be us that wants to think about what's going to happen with the world we live in.
But these young climate fighters still have hope that world governments will hear their cries.
I really want something to be done in terms of ambition, because so far, we are not going the right way. We want to go net zero by the year 2050, but so far with the NDCs that countries have pledged and the finance, specifically the finance, is not enough for us to achieve the goal that we agreed on the Paris Agreement. So that's what we need: more ambition, more finance, and more commitment in our national determined contributions.
I really think that there's a difference between discussing topics and actually doing something about it. It was the same thing that happened in Paris, and we still haven't met the goal. And it's the same thing today. We have these events and we try to discuss about these topics. However, we just say void words and then we don't actually act on it. So I think it's time for the governments to actually put a step on it and try to make a change, not only talk about it.
Reporting from COP26 in Glasgow, Scotland, Hipolito Novelo, Love News.